Now then, you beautiful people, we've got so many good recipes for you today.
Honestly, he's not lying. And the first one we've got on the list is a banger, a classic lasagna.
I mean, it's one of our favourites, and it's so simple and vegan. We've then got a vegan fried breakfast with all the trimmings.
And then like a weird one, it's like a nutty snack hack video, which has loads of nuts in.
And finally, this is definitely saving the best till last, a classic apple crumble. You're gonna love it.
Today's menu is a very, very good one. Let us begin.
So first up, we got a classic lasagna, right? This is from our second book, Bish Bash Bosh. And what we were going for is like a proper Italian lasagna. Not too much like crazy flavors, just your base ragu, that cream with a little bit of bechamel, kind of cheesy flavoring, and then of course the pasta sheets.
Sometimes simplicity is king.
I think so, yeah. Well, that is it, like a proper classic Italian lasagna would be quite pared back. Wouldn't necessarily be as cheesy as we tend to do it in the UK.
Yeah, that's right. And we worked really, really hard on this recipe. We laboured over the flavour for a long time. And as you can see here, what we're doing is building the flavour from the ground all the way up.
So we've got our classic carrots and celery and onion that have just gone in, the Holy Trinity, a mirepoix as you might call it, and then we're making a mushroom mince. So those mushrooms are going to act like the meat in this recipe.
Now red wine, if you didn't know, some of it isn't vegan, so do check before you buy it. What's that website called again?
Barnivore, great place.
Website.
Yeah, go for it to find out your vegan alcohol. And of course, we, as usual at Bosh, we're layering the flavours with that soy sauce, the red wine, the oregano, the tomato puree.
Yeah man, it's all about the flavour with this dish. I mean, like really, we were just talking before, this is kind of like an Italian roast dinner.
Yeah, I mean it's roasted,
and
baked,
it's
I guess. Yeah. So I guess so.
Exactly, and roast dinner you want lots of different flavours, like because you don't want to sort of just like put something in your mouth and then the next fork tastes exactly the same. So this is why we work really hard on getting all the flavours in there, so it's like every mouthful just keeps you guessing.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful that set looks right there?
The set looks really good.
I mean, all that veg.
That big old pepper, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And listen, if you're going to make a lasagna, you need a really wonderful creamy sauce, and this is a great way to do it. Lots of olive oil, lots of flour, and obviously loads and loads of milk. And our fave,
vegan crack,
Nooch,
aka nutritional yeast. I guess the key thing as well when you're making a roux, when you're making a bechamel, is to go slow. You really don't want to burn. So take this step nice and slowly to get that perfect white sauce.
And also, this is really key what we're doing here. The pepper and salt is very key, because without the pepper and the salt, and maybe even a little bit more nutritional yeast, that can be quite bland in flavour, and you don't want bland flavours.
So now we've already made our kind of two parts. The third part, of course, are those lasagna sheets. Actually, this is simplicity incarnate.
It is.
The sauce, the cheese, the pasta.
There's just layers and layers of simplicity.
Of course, lasagna is a labour of love, and this is the bit you want to get right. Just pop those lasagna sheets down, try and make sure there's not too many gaps, and the steam from those lovely sauces is going to cook that pasta.
It is an amazing thing. I would recommend that you make this on a Sunday, and if you start making it around about 3 p.m. on a Sunday, by 6 p.m. on a Sunday, you'll be able to sit down and you have a nice salad, and you'll be kind of merry because of all the red wine you inevitably would have drank, and you'll have a wonderful dinner on your hands.
Yeah, and well, also what's more is your house will smell amazing for the entire evening, so everyone will know that you're cooking or have cooked. Now this foil trick we're doing here is to just make sure that we get a nice bake throughout without burning the top, but we're going to take it off for the last 15 minutes and then carve up our wonderful lasagna.
And by Jove, doesn't it look amazing?
Steaming.
It's steaming hot. It's really lovely. I mean, look at that.
I mean, lasagna is hard to photograph, but because it always looks kind of sloppy and messy, but that is a good job right there.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty decent job. And if you're making it at home, which we thoroughly recommend that you do, you will do a good job too, and you will not regret it.
Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Have you made one of our lasagnas? And do subscribe if you're not already, because we make videos like this every single day.
Next up on today's menu.
Oh man, it's a fried breakfast. I do love a fried breakfast.
I love a fried breakfast.
Vegan, vegan of course.
Yeah, standard.
So we're going to have a bit of a dip in the ketchup, as you can see. But what we're going for here is we're going for veggie sausages. We've got our own little hack to make a perfect vegan scrambled egg. And what are we doing here, Ian?
Well, we're making a really nice marinade, because that marinade is the sort of thing that is going to make whatever goes in it extremely tasty. And what we're after here is a really great way to kick off the morning.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Aubergine bacon.
Aubergine bacon.
Who would have thought it?
And if you're in the States and you don't know what an aubergine is, it's an eggplant.
Eggplant bacon. It kind of sounds like it's confusing with the eggplant, bacon, planty, eggs.
It's quite a weird thing.
I don't know where I'm going with this. This is how to make aubergine bacon. It's really nice on its own actually, or in a BLT. This is going to go perfectly in our English breakfast.
Yeah, and again, all you got to do there is just let the oven do the work. And now we're going to make some hash browns.
This is always a weird one here. Make sure you use a clean tea towel, not a messy one. We're going to squeeze that liquid out of our grated potatoes and onions, and then we're kind of in the world of making a potato patty.
Yeah, and I think the reason why you do that, like the reason why you eke out all of that moisture from the potatoes, is because you don't want the wet potato to hit the oil, because if it does, it will start spitting and it can be quite dangerous. So it's very, very important to dry out and also to flavour that.
So that's obviously got all those spices on there. And the funny thing about this one is you don't think it's going to come together.
No.
You're like, this is just like shreds of potato, but it does stick together in these lovely patties. And honestly, this makes such a difference to your vegan fried breakfast.
Yeah, and if you so wished, if you had a deep fat fryer or an air fryer.
Oh, I love an air fryer.
Air fryer might work as well.
But of course, we're going to brown them off and then roast them for a little moment with those aubergine bacon slices as well.
I mean, like, everybody has their perfect idea of what a really good breakfast should be. And I think with all of the different elements that we've got here, this is about as good as it can be.
This is like all the trimmings.
Yeah.
You've made the bacon, you've got the hash brown, you're making your own beans, which is what's going on here. So you've pretty much done everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not saying this is a quick recipe. This is going to take you a while.
Yeah, this is a Saturday morning thing. So this is like you and your mates are feeling a bit hungover and someone stayed out and he's like laid out on the sofa and you're like, mate, we need some decent breakfast, come and give me a hand, and then he's going to come and help you out.
You're like working through a hangover.
Yes.
You're just like, you know what, I'm just going to devote an hour and a half to making a big breakfast, and then we'll probably watch a movie.
And yeah, exactly. I was about to say, it's like, as soon as you finish this, where are you going? You're going straight back to bed.
To the sofa. Let's be honest, breakfast is good, but brunch is better.
This
is a brunch.
Yeah, this is a great thing. And obviously, here we've just got some really nice, simple way to pimp out some cherry tomatoes.
I mean, that looks lovely.
Basil roasted cherry tomatoes, exceptionally delicious.
If you're making this at home, you do want to have a few pans at the go.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, there's a few different stages.
Prepare yourself for a little bit of washing up, but you know what? Anything that's worth cooking and worth doing properly, you might as well do properly.
And with those mushrooms, we've added a little bit of cayenne pepper for a bit of heat. Always like to add a bit of garlic in there as well. And the liquid is just going to disappear from them. I always find when making a fried breakfast that you never have enough mushrooms.
No, exactly.
So go for more than you think. Fill that pan with mushrooms, fill that pan with spinach, and what will happen is they're both going to reduce in size and taste delicious.
And look at that, that was really nice.
It's a good shot, that.
Yeah, easy way to wilt it down. Very, very cool.
I'm getting hungry just watching this.
Yeah.
So we are in a world of breakfast. What would you drink with this, Ian? Tea or coffee?
I reckon I'd start with a little espresso and then end up with maybe, a decent mug of tea, and then I might have a glass of apple juice as well.
As well as all this food.
All of that, yeah.
And then watch like Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future is a great movie to watch. And now, if you're ever wondering about how to make a vegan scrambled egg, this is your answer.
Proper technique this. We're going to use some tofu and also some silken tofu. And those two different tofus, the Bosch patented two tofu technique, are going to combine to give you both the runny bit and the slightly firmer bit of a scrambled egg.
And the colour is bang right. That is what kind of scrambled egg looks like. And then obviously the firm tofu offers up the bit that you need in scrambled egg, which is kind of like, the hard bit.
Yeah. Although, let's be honest, like not everyone likes scrambled egg, including including my fiance MJ. She's not into scrambled vegan egg.
No, but what I'm into scrambled egg or scrambled vegan egg, and especially when you're putting it on nice toast and you've got your nice hash browns and you've got your fantastic beans and everything is coming together to form basically a wonderful breakfast.
You know, I would have this with brown sauce. For me, if you're in the UK and you know HP sauce, that is the one to have with a fried breakfast.
Yeah, and do you know what about this, right? It is quite a labour of love, but you could quite easily make any one single element from what we've just shown you, and you can have that on toast, and it would probably work perfectly well.
Absolutely. And you know, whoever you've got staying over at yours, or whether you're just trying to impress a loved one, they will be impressed by that spread right there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a breakfast of champions.
Oh, it's a brunch of
winners.
Yes, winners.
Breakfast of champions, brunch of winners, the Bosch Big Bad Breakfast. Take it or leave it, or maybe if you haven't got time, just do a few bits from it.
And who would have thought you could make your own baked beans?
I know.
Like, you can actually make your own baked beans.
Well, I mean, they are just basically beans and tomato sauce, aren't they?
Yeah, but usually you'd be like, oh, how would I do that? But we've just shown you how to do it. I think that's really cool.
Oh man, the hash brown is so good. Oh, there's the brown sauce. Excellent. Glad to see that in there. Of course, that is in our book, Bish Bash Bosh. We've also got a version of that in Bosch as well. So if you've got those books, you'll find our breakfasts in there.
Yeah, but also, like, we're nice guys. We're just giving you the whole recipe for free. Like, we're about to give you these recipes for free too, because this is our nutty snack hack. And we've got some nut butter, we've got some really nice spice nuts. Perfect.
So these are our sweet spiced Moroccan nuts, and we're just gonna hit them with some kind of spicy flavors. You can actually freestyle a little bit, use what you've got in your cupboards, a little bit of sugar and some maple syrup to bind all of that together. And that is gonna toss perfectly over those nuts, which will roast. Now it's just gonna almost activate the nuts, unlock a bit more flavor and give them even more deliciousness.
If I was gonna sort of geographically stamp these nuts, I would probably say Morocco. It kind of has that sort of North African feel with all that flavour profile. Look at them.
Yeah, oh man, they look beautiful on the screen. Of course, these are going to be really healthy for you as well. You know, nuts they're a source of healthy fats. They're packed with omega fatty acids as well. Good for fibre as well. So a really good thing to get in your diet on a daily basis. Yeah, and it's really important just to make sure they're all nicely covered in that really nice flavouring. And then just spread them across your baking tray. And when you bake them, don't break them too hard, right? Because what you need to do is you need to just do them kind of like chill. Next up, we're going to show you how to make a quick peanut butter, but not just an ordinary peanut butter. We'll add a little bit of maple in there as well, a bit of maple syrup for some sweetness and also just to help them get into that nice creamy consistency. Patience is absolutely key, as is a really good blender. Let's be honest, you've skipped through a few bits there. You might spend 10 minutes like just turning it on and pushing it down just to make sure you get it perfectly smooth. Yeah, a little bit of scrapey, never hurt nobody. No, but it's totally worth it. You get your homemade peanut butter to go with your homemade spiced nuts, and the whole family are going to be grateful. And they'll be going nuts. They are going to be going nuts, 100%. And the whole family is going to be really grateful after you've had your Sunday dinner and then you put this in front of them. This is an apple crumble, steaming, fresh from the oven, crispy on top, nice and gorgeous and sweet inside, and of course we're going to top it with a little bit of dairy-free custard. Now, like, you're probably thinking, what on earth is that banana going to be doing? Well, I'm telling you something. This is a technique you've never seen before. We are using banana to bind and create our fantastic crumbly topping. Absolutely, and this is actually a relatively healthy version of an apple crumble. Yeah, I mean, it's from Healthy Vegan. It's from our book, Healthy Vegan, so the idea is it's healthy, not too much sugar at all. We've used maple syrup rather than refined sugar, which is a little bit better, a little bit lower GI, and we're binding it together with mashed up banana. Indeed we are, and we've got some pecans in there. But if you don't like pecans, which, I'd be surprised if you don't like pecans, because I love pecans. But if you didn't, you could use hazelnuts, you could use macadamia nuts, you could even use seeds. Absolutely. And for this stage here, as you can see, we're going to use a blender. We're going to make a date caramel. So this is going to taste sweet because of the natural sweetness of those dates. You like a date, don't you, Ian? I do like a date, every Friday and every Saturday. And then we're going to make some sliced apples, of course, and later on we'll toss that date caramel over those sliced apples. A little bit of sugar to simmer them down, but again, this is quite a healthy recipe, so we're not going too wild.
And we didn't use Bramley apples, we didn't use cooking apples, we just used regular apples because they're so much easier to find.
Whatever you've got lying around, isn't it? That's the key here. Of course, a bit of cinnamon and apple, they're like best friends.
Yeah, cinnamon and apple go together like, well, I don't know, like a lens and an actual camera body.
Peas in a pod.
Yeah, peas in a pod too.
Insert your own things that go well together down below in the comments, and yeah, you can enjoy this beautiful, delicious apple crumble.
Salted caramel apple crumble. I mean, come on, man.
And it's a healthy version.
It is, it's super duper healthy. I mean, it's essentially a salad. You can eat this at will.
It's basically fruit salad.
It is.
Mixed with granola.
It is a fruit salad. How cool is that?
So this would go actually quite well for a nice healthy breakfast as well, but we're going to eat it as a dessert, probably on the same day that you ate that English breakfast, because let's be honest, that's going to have filled you up. You want a light dessert.
I think we've just skimmed over the fact that what you've just come up with is the mark of genius. Like, crumble for breakfast should absolutely be a thing.
Breakfast crumble, that'll be in the next book.
You better watch out for that, guys. If you think that breakfast crumble should indeed be a thing, let us know in the comments below.
It's basically granola and fruit. Isn't that what Darren, our housemate, has basically every day?
Yeah, and he has it with the roasted nuts now as well.
Breakfast crumble with the roasted nuts, there you go.
And now what we're doing is just making a little bit of custard, because what is a crumble without custard?
So this is a super quick way to make custard. We're going to use a plant-based milk, a little bit of corn flour. There's also some vanilla extract in there as well. And you can use vanilla bean paste and a pinch of turmeric, not too much, will give a nice yellow colour throughout that custard.
Look at the consistency, it's perfect.
It's
beautiful.
Perfect. Great shot there.
Yeah.
And look at that, we've got a thick custard, we've got that gorgeous crispy crumble, still steaming straight out the oven. That is a beautiful thing.
I mean, it really is a truly wonderful thing. And that, do you know what? Like, the filmmaker in me was very, very pleased with the way that just sort of toppled into the bowl.
It was very pleasing.
Yes.
Very pleasing indeed. This is a beautiful piece of food porn right here.
And look at the custard, the way it's gripping to the granola top. It's great.
Nice and silky.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I feel like I'm salivating from watching the last 10 minutes of food.
We've got some solid recipes there. Let us know what your favourite is in the comments below. My personal favourite, apple crumble.
I would go for the breakfast that took about, 10 steps.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Yeah. Worth it. Of course it's worth it. It's tasty vegan food. It has to be worth it.
Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Which one did you like the look of best? And do subscribe if you haven't already to catch more of our banging vegan food videos.
We literally put out videos all the time.
Yes, just for you. Enjoy them. Big love to all of you. Stay safe. See you later.